I defer the opening words today to Elmo. Let's get one more. Again, he says. Marty Rudolph's Elmo. This is not my Elmo. All right. Elmo, are you done laughing? All right. Again? No, I think we've had enough Elmo. Well, this is a Muppet-themed service, so having Elmo begin by maniacally laughing, I think sounds like a good order of business. And also, let's start by singing a Muppet song. Maybe you know this one. Maybe you don't, but it's pretty easy to learn if you don't. It's called Mana Mana. Anybody know this song? All right.
The words are Mana Mana and Don't Don't Don't.
The words are Mana Mana and Doot Doot Doo Doo Doo. Mana Mana. Mana Mana. Well done, people. Well done.
Well, the best thing about opening words is that it's closer to the end.
Ah. Are you familiar with Statler and Waldorf? Heckle. They heckle. Oh, is this not on? Hello? Hello, hello? All right. Statler and Waldorf. Perhaps you're familiar with them. They heckle, and it looks like Bob and Judy today are perhaps stepping into that role.
Just make sure you give us time.
All right, all right.
But don't take too much time, huh?
We're going to begin today by listening to one of the most beautiful songs ever written.
There's so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, only illusions. sea. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and he. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweetest sound that calls the young sailors? Voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 dee da.
I have just realized that Chayla is on vacation, and Chayla is the one who gets our chalice lighter organized. So we are going to light this chalice. Leora's going to light it, and I'm going to read the chalice lighting words.
Kind of like evening at the Improv.
Oh, for some reason. Come into the circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come and you shall know peace and joy.
It makes sense to light a fire. The whole service is going up in flames anyway.
Spirit of light, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. My name is Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth. This month we've been exploring pluralism, and today that takes us to Muppets and all the different kinds of Muppets there are. So while our young friends, or young at heart, are finding their way to the rug this morning, I invite you to think about what your favorite Muppet is, or your favorite puppet, if you don't like Muppets.
Is that me? It doesn't feel safe to move. All right, kids, we're going to go on a field trip for this time for all ages. Are you ready? Stand up. And then come 10 feet this way. All right. We've got a guest visitor today. His name is Sandy, and he is joining us from the Muppet Workshop.
Hi, kids.
Sandy, I'm really loud. Can I go down a little bit? Listen. Can you turn me down a little bit? Yeah. Sandy.
Yes.
That is a fantastic shirt you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. My mom picked it out for me.
Your mom picked it out for you. She
Yeah.
did. Okay, fantastic. Do you notice what I'm wearing?
I do. It's very snazzy.
Well, thank you. It's new. Well, it's actually old, but it's new to me. I got it at the thrift shop, and it's my new coat.
That's a very nice coat.
Thank you very much. Made in 1970, about the time when the Muppets were made.
Yeah.
And where were you made, Sandy?
Oh, that's a very personal question.
That's a very personal question. Okay, we won't get into that. Well, Sandy, something happened after I got this coat. I went to my closet, and it was full. And so in order to keep this new coat, I had to take some of the clothes out of my closet, my old coat.
Okay.
Yeah?
What did your old coat look like?
Well, it was a blue coat, and I've had it for probably about 5 years. How long have you had your shirt?
Oh, this one? Probably about my whole life.
Your whole life.
Yes.
Do you have any other shirts?
I do not.
Okay, all right. So you might not have this problem. But when I buy a new coat, what I have to do is I have to go into the closet and I have to take stuff out that doesn't fit anymore. Do you have closets? Do you have the same clothes in your closet that you did have 3 years ago? No. No, you don't. You do. Okay, you've got the same clothes as 5 years ago. You don't know if you have. Okay. Well, what do you do when your clothes don't fit anymore? What do you do with them? What do you do? What?
I give them to my brother.
Oh, you give them to your brother. Uh-huh. Hand-me-downs. That's great. What do you do with your clothes when they don't fit? You burn them? Uh-oh. All right, that's one way to get rid of them. What do you do with your clothes? You give them away to your cousin. What do you do with your clothes when they don't fit anymore? You give them away to your friends. What do you do with your clothes when they don't fit anymore? You give them to your cousin too. Okay, very generous people here. And then, do you get new clothes then when your clothes stop fitting? You do. Okay. Yeah. Your parents buy you new clothes. That's exactly right. And do you think this is ever going to stop? Or do you think you're ever just going to have one pair of clothes that you wear for the rest of your life? Probably not, right? As we grow and as we age, we get new clothes. The same thing happens with our beliefs. Did you know that? You don't always believe the same things your entire life. And so every once in a while, it's kind of like going into your closet. You have to look around and to see what fits. And sometimes you have to take old beliefs out of your closet so that you can have room for the new beliefs. Unitarian Universalists love this idea because we are a growing and evolving and changing faith tradition. And so we always are curious about change and what comes next and how our beliefs might grow. It's one of the things that makes us Unitarian Universalists, that we can change our beliefs over time. And we welcome that. We think that is a good thing. Do you think is it a good thing, Sandy?
Absolutely. Yes.
Sandy, have you ever had a belief change in your life?
When I lived on Sesame Street, I believed in Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Ah, Mr. Snuffleupagus. And then did you ever learn something about Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Yes.
What did you learn about Mr. Snuffleupagus?
That he was real.
That he was real. And for a while, people thought he wasn't real, correct?
Right.
And so that belief changed when people realized that Mr. Snuffleupagus is real. In fact, they had to change that idea on the show because the kids were learning that they thought that it was all a lie. And so they decided one day to make sure that everyone knew Mr. Snuffleupagus was real.
Yes.
Sandy, are you going to hang out for the rest of the service?
Sure.
Fantastic. We would love to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. And thank you for being here.
We're going to continue our exploration today in our RE classes, but before we go, we need to say the Children's Covenant. Will you help me? In this place, I am kind. In this place, I am loving. In this place, I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved.
We have a special recessional today. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. Cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me.
C is for cookie, it's good enough for me.
C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. Cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C.
C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me.
Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C.
Wow, those kids are lucky. They only have to be here for 15 minutes. Go in peace, go in peace.
Go in peace or in turmoil. However, I just like to go on.
Good morning. I'm Leora, and I'm your fellowship administrator, and I have today's announcements. Today is the annual meeting of members, and everyone is welcome to join. After the service, we'll clear everyone into the gathering hall, and then as everyone returns, we'll have a check-in table for members. Childcare is available, and just a note that you're welcome to join the annual meeting both in person or online. For those of you who are on Zoom, stay in the meeting if you're a member and you want to attend the meeting, and we'll check you in on Zoom just the same as we would check you in person. Reminder that the Reverend Scott and members of the pastoral care team are continuing their series, We're All Going to Die.
Excuse me, Leora. I think it's the monitor, Danny, that's loud enough to feed back a little bit.
Is this better? Yes. Okay, I'll do them over here. So We're All Going to Die series continues on the next 3 Tuesdays. Here's a special one to my heart. This Friday, May 24th, in the morning time, 10 to 2, we're doing a deep clean of the kitchen. You know, we have janitorial staff, we have event staff, but every once in a while, don't you really just got to get in there with a toothbrush and some elbow grease at your house? We need to do that here at the fellowship. So if you have any inclination to help us clean, please come. Lunch will be served. Last call for the Men's Fellowship first annual weekend. It's an on-site retreat, and there are plenty of scholarships available. You can sign up in the ACE, or you can find Bob Barber. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's nearby. And then lastly, June 1st is Ben Pride, and if you'd like to join staff and others at the booth, please let us know by sending an email to chayla@uufco.org. Thank you.
I got an announcement. I think you're bored. I'm bored. Are you bored?
You're bored. No,
No, I'm bored. Are you bored?
Sheesh, roll. This congregation benefits from the generosity of our members and friends to build all the variety and all the different things that we do here as a fellowship. We are grateful for your generosity, and we take the morning offering in that spirit today. I don't think the mic's on.
They didn't teach me how to do this. I'm supposed to say, you want us to give money? You ought to give us money for being here.
Moving right along, it's such a good times and good news. With good friends you can't lose. This could become a habit. Opportunity knocks once, let's reach out and grab it. Together we'll have it. We'll hitchhike bus or get it. Moving right along. Loose and fancy free. Get a Mary's half the fun, come share it with me. Moving right along, da-da-da-da-da-da. Learn to share the load. We don't need a map to keep the show on the road. Moving right along, we found our life on the highway. And your way is my way, so trust my navigation. California, here we come, that high in the skyland, with palm trees and warm sand. The Southern beaches just left right island. Move right along, loose and fancy free. Send someone to fetch us, we're in Saskatchewan. Moving right along, you take it, you know best. Hey, I've never seen this. Come up in moving right along, we're truly birds of a feather. We're in this together, and you know where you're going. Moving stars and flashing cars and life with the top down. We're storming the big town. Storm is right. Should be moving right along. I see signs of men. Welcome on the same post that says come back again. Moving right along, but loose and fancy free. You're ready for the big time, is it ready for me? You're ready for the big time, is it ready for me?
Thank you. I'm going to give a second round of applause for our amazing tuba player.
This congregation shares in its joys, its sorrows, and its gratitudes each week. We have a form on the kiosk if you'd like to share a joy or a sorrow or gratitude with the wider congregation. And if you'd like to light a candle for a joy or a sorrow in your own heart, please feel free to do that. And we only have one joy today, and it is from Diane Darling, who expresses her great appreciation for the Widening the Circle group and all the series of workshops that we've had looking at the Article 2 question, and that we'll be voting on today at our annual meeting. But that group has been meeting over the last many months to have the conversation around changing our bylaws, the association bylaws around the 7 principles to the 6 values. So we'll be talking more about that later in the sermon. And let's just hold a little space now while people are lighting candles. And take a deep breath and begin to find ourselves in our bodies. Maybe another breath. Feel yourself slowing down, coming into this space with these people, this chosen community, this beloved community. I'm going to share some words by Nancy Schaefer this morning as our spoken prayer, and we'll follow that with a time of silent meditation. That which holds all. Because she wanted everyone to feel included in her prayer, she said right at the beginning several names for the holy. Spirit, she said. Holy One. Mystery. God. But then, thinking these weren't enough ways of addressing that which cannot be fully addressed, she added particularities, saying, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Ancient Holy One, mystery we will never fully know, gracious God, and also Spirit of this earth, God of Sarah, Gaia, Thou. And then, tongue loosened, she fell into naming superlatives as well. Most creative one, greatest source, closest hope. Even though superlatives for the sacred seemed to her probably redundant. But then she couldn't stop. One who made the stars, she said, although she knew technically a number of those present didn't believe the stars had been made by anyone or a thing, but just luckily happened. One who is an entire ocean of compassion, she said, and no one laughed. That which has been present since before the beginning, she said, and the room was silent. Then, although she hadn't imagined it this way, others began to offer names. Peace, said one. One my mother knew, said another. Ancestor, said a third. Wind, rain. Breath, said someone near the back. Refuge, that which holds all. A child said, water. Then, womb, witness, great kindness, great eagle, eternal stillness. And then there wasn't any need to say the things she thought would be so important to say. And everyone sat hushed until someone said, Amen.
Oh, most holy and benevolent one, please spare us for having to sit through this service. Be merciful and put us out of our misery.
It's not so easy being green, having to spend each day the colors of the leaves, when I think it could be so much nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful than that. It's not so easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over, 'cause you're not standing out like flashy sparkles in the water or stars in the sky. But green's the color of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why, but why wonder, why wonder? I'm green and it'll do fine, 'cause it's beautiful, and I think that's what I wanna be. Yeah.
Is this a sermon? Is this a sermon?
This is a sermon.
You gonna do the sermon?
I'm gonna do the sermon.
You know what I like about the sermon?
What?
When it's done.
Jeez. So this is Kermit, a first version of Kermit. But before we get into Kermit, let's watch a brief video. This is a trailer for a documentary that's just coming out next week on Disney+. We are in the zeitgeist here, people.
Hello there, my name is Jim Henson, and I'm a puppeteer.
Sesame Street. The Muppets.
Dark Crystal.
Labyrinth. Jim, created out of innocence.
He showed people the good in all of us.
Is this a 9-to-5 job?
Yeah, it's every moment of one's life kind of job, I suppose.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
From a very early age, he had the feeling that he was here for a purpose.
Howdy. Characters come about from many different ways. It was my mother's coat and a ping pong ball. That's how it all started.
He had so many ideas and so many things he wanted to do. His inner life must have been sparkling.
The space he gave to an expression of imagination, I see that in everything that he did.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks.
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions.
There was nothing that Jim didn't entertain.
And everything was getting a little bit bigger.
Becoming famous was what he wanted, that there was an innocence getting lost. Was going to impact his relationship with us and everything that was complex.
He wanted to do more than is humanly possible.
That idea that time could run out
was just unthinkable.
If Jim was here, I just have to thank him.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Those notes are magic, are they not? Those notes begin the Muppet movie. Those notes are conjuring. And here's a confession. I'm a pretty serious Muppet geek. The Muppets have always been around in my life. Different iterations, but they've always been there. The Muppet Show came on 1 year before I was born. I would watch them incessantly in syndication, and now they're on Disney+. All the Muppet Show episodes. It's exciting. The Muppet movie came out 2 years after I was born. I remember seeing The Great Muppet Caper and The Muppets Take Manhattan in the theater. I grew up watching Sesame Street all the time, and I loved it. Christmas Eve on Sesame Street was replaced by The Muppet Christmas Carol. There were Muppet Babies on Saturday mornings, more Muppet movies, other Henson projects like Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson Hour, Fraggle Rock, Disney attractions. There is so much in this world of Muppets. And they weren't all good. Isn't that something? Do you remember a handful of years ago when they tried to do a Muppet show based off of The Office type? And it flopped, completely flopped. And they just tried again. There's a constant Muppet project going on every year, it seems, in my life. And I've always been drawn to all things Muppet. There's a simplicity, a wit, a vaudevillian silliness, and an imagination present that are just unmatched in today's culture and are infectious. If you were to ask me who my hero is, I would quickly say it is Jim Henson. He was an extraordinary artist and a visionary. He created an entire world from his dreams. In 1954, while he was still in high school, Jim began his television career performing puppets on local Washington, D.C. morning programming. In college, he was given his own twice-daily 5-minute show, Sam and Friends, on the local NBC syndicate. The success of Sam and Friends led to guest appearances on such national network programs as The Steve Allen Show, The Jack Paar Show, and Today. Jim also began making hundreds of humorous commercials for sponsors throughout the country. By this time, Jim had begun to gather other dreamers around him. Much as you recall, if you've seen the Muppet movie, how Kermit gathers the other dreamers around him. Between 1964 and 1969, Jim produced several experimental films. He had a whole another world of filmmaking that was not Muppets, and he was an award-winning director of these, especially with the film Timepiece. In the late 60s, Jim received an invitation to collaborate on a groundbreaking kids show, Sesame Street. It premiered in 1969. And then The Muppet Show, his true dream coming to fruition. The pilots for The Muppet Show were The Muppets, A Valentine's Day Special, and The Muppet Show, Sex and Violence. He wanted people to know that this was an adult show, even though he is using a form traditionally used for children. The Muppets, Sex and Violence. All the projects that he created arose from this community of puppeteers dedicated and completely enthusiastic and entertained by their craft. They had fun doing it. On May 16th, in 1990, after a brief illness, Jim Henson died in New York City. With his keen ability for drawing together a strong team of performers and artists and collaborators who shared his vision and creativity, Jim ensured that his work and unique creative vision would continue on, and indeed they have continued on to this day. Through the Jim Henson Company, his work continues to captivate and entertain and create and continue to dream. On Disney Plus, that documentary is coming out next week, and there's also been a 10-episode show called Mayhem about the Electric Mayhem Band. And so why would we be talking about Muppets on a Sunday morning? There are a lot of overlaps and similarities between Muppets and Unitarian Universalists. The Muppets have changed over time. As you can see, this wasn't even a frog to begin with. Kermit didn't start out as a frog. He started out just as a sock puppet, and he eventually became Kermit the Frog over time. He evolved. In fact, all the Muppets evolved over time. The shows evolved, new ideas were had, old ideas were put to bed, much like our shared liberal religious faith. As a liberal religion, we don't mean that we're necessarily all politically liberal, but we mean that our religion changes over time, and we welcome that. We want it to evolve. And this is the segue to our Article 2 conversation that we're having at the board meeting. So this is a whole new idea. If you're familiar with the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism, starting with the inherent worth and dignity of every person and ending in respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part, we have these 7 guiding principles that we've been using in this faith since the mid-'80s. But a part of our liberal faith is to say that we want to grow and we want to evolve over time. And so, those 7 principles, never intended to be a creed, were, instead of being tweaked and revised, the commission was charged with creating something new. And so they came up with these 6 values instead of the 7 principles, with love at the center of all the things that we do. We have interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. We are an evolving faith, and we'll take a vote on this, and it might not pass at General Assembly. We might keep the 7 principles, and we might adopt the 6 values. We're not sure, but we're open to the idea of the democratic process in voting and bringing that question to the larger body. The Muppets work. Something makes the Muppets work. The society they have created for themselves is a good one. And it reminds me a lot of what makes this congregation a good one. Diversity. Such difference of who we all are when we bring into the space. The Muppets have monsters and pigs and frogs and bears and chickens and weirdos. The Muppet world is inherently pluralistic, where differences are not only accepted, but are appreciated. Diversity is promoted and celebrated. Think of the diversity on Sesame Street. We don't even consider the fact that there's a large yellow canary walking around. We don't even blink. It's become normal. It's become accepted. In our congregations, we have atheists, and we have theists, and we have agnostics, and we have Buddhists, and we have liberal Christians. We have conservatives, and we have liberals. We have all kinds of skills and all kinds of talents. We welcome and accept all of our different gifts and all of our different abilities. And we are all flawed characters as well. Each Muppet has their weakness, and it's okay. The Muppets can show up with their flawed nature. They are all loved and supported anyway. It takes patience and understanding in the Muppet world. It takes patience and understanding in this human world. But everyone gets to be themselves. For near all the Muppets, their character contributions come directly out of their limitations and their blind spots. And we too, all being flawed, have our shadow sides, and we can bring those into this space and use them as gifts. There was a Slate article called A Unified Theory of Muppet Types by Delia Lithwick. And she presents this idea that there are chaos Muppets and there are control Muppets. The chaos Muppets are out of control, they're emotional, they're volatile, they tend towards being blue and fuzzy, and they make their way through life, swirling through a maelstrom of food crumbs and small flaming objects and the letter C. Think of Muppets like Cookie Monster, Ernie, Grover, Gonzo, Sandy, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, and of course Animal, all chaos Muppets. And it's okay. They bring that chaos into the spirit of the whole, And they are balanced by the order Muppets. Bert, Scooter, Sam the Eagle, Kermit the Frog. The order Muppets tend to be highly regimented, averse to surprises, and they might have large eyebrows. They sometimes resent the responsibility of the world weighing in on them. They secretly revel in the knowledge that they keep the show running. The Chaos Muppets and the Order Muppets. The Chaos Humans and the Order Humans. We need all of them here in this space. One of the things that makes the Muppet world work is trust. They trust that they have basic good intentions. There's an assumption of goodwill, that hearts are good. And people have good hearts, then we trust if we disagree that their motive might still be okay and good. They are lovers and they are dreamers, and they are working together for a shared dream, as we are working together toward a shared dream, a dream that is good. Our dream is a dream of community, of relationships, of right relationships, of a mission that celebrates life, finds meaning, and serves the spirit of love and justice. This process, this shared ministry that we do, there's something that everyone can contribute into the life of this congregation. Every single person here is fed and can be fed by this community. That's what makes it work. This place is fun. This place relies on dedication. This place works because people show up. Oftentimes, the real action is hidden. The coffee that's made before we get here, the dishes that are cleaned after we leave. But I can tell you that people make that coffee, and people wash those dishes. It's possible because we are doing it, and we get to create this community. It's an honor and a privilege that we get to create this world, this community. Howard Thurman said, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do it, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." And so I wonder, what are your gifts and what are your dreams that you might share with this community? There is so much that happens here, and so much that can still happen through our adult spiritual development and our kids RE, our social justice programming, our fellowship groups. This is a fun place. It's a place that's welcome for your diversity, your own version of your own Muppetness. If you ever wonder how you can get involved, just dream up something and bring it into this space. This church needs you. In the Muppet movie, during a campfire, when the group sadly considers that they might miss the audition in LA, the thing they've been aiming for the whole time, Kermit wanders off, and he's ashamed of himself for seemingly bringing his friends on this fruitless journey. Upon consulting a more optimistic vision of himself, Kermit remembers that it was not just his friends' belief in the dream that brought them this far, but his own belief and faith in himself. Henson said, "At some point in my life, I decided, rightly or wrongly, that there are many situations in life that I can't do much about. Acts of terrorism, feelings of nationalistic prejudice, Cold War, etc. So what I should do is concentrate on the situations that my energy can affect. When I was young, my ambition was to be one of the people who made a difference in the world. My hope still is to leave the world a little bit better for my having been here. It's a wonderful life, and I love it." These are words that Jim Henson wrote in a letter to his children after he knew that he was going to die. It's a wonderful life, and I love it. This is a wonderful life, and we can love it together. Let us join in this work in our own unique way. Bring your own Muppetness, bring your own diversity, bring your chaos, bring your order, but bring it into this place. Let's continue to dream with one another. Let's continue to make those dreams come true. May it be so.
I guess that makes sense.
Well, I guess maybe because it's in church, maybe it made nonsense.
Oh, come on. It wasn't half that bad. It was bad.
Please join me as we say our covenant of this congregation. And Sandy, would you like to lead us in the covenant today? Oh, okay. All right. Sandy doesn't have mine. We don't have that slide. It's a test. Can you do it by memory? Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is the law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
So thanks for putting the fire out.
The lovers lovers, and the dreamers. If this doesn't describe who we are as a people, I don't know what does. Let us go into this day and continue to love and continue to dream. Go in peace and go with love.